So, how did this all begin? 25 days ago now, I was at my job. I work for an ABA company with autistic kids, and I was attacked by one of the kids with autism. He actually attacked me twice in one day. So, this kid has a history of being violent, and nothing was being done about it. So, earlier in the day, we were in the kids cafe, and the kid got a really strong grip into my arm. He has this habit where he likes to grab people's arm and scrape and pull up their skin, sometimes even scratching up the meat in people's arm. And so he got his claws, his fingers in me too really deep. And so I'm a big girl, as you know, and I'm very strong. And so it took full force for me to get him, out of my arm, to get him off of me. And so later in the day, we were in the kids cafe again, and I was with my client. He's not even a client of mine. My client was walking out the door, and he got out of the door safely, and this kid comes out of nowhere and boxes me in my jaw, and it's like a sliding punch. And so he hits my jaw and my head area. And so, like, I'm just in disbelief. And like, mind you, his ABA therapist is just kind of chilling, has no control over the situation, no restraint. And so, of course, I had to report this to leadership immediately. I let them know, that I had been attacked. And of course, I was in severe pain. He actually damaged one of my teeth, and so that's another issue I have to deal with when I finish recovery. And so they gave me some medicine and was just like, oh, he's done that before. And the director, she pulled up her sleeve, and she's like, all of these scars, are from this kid. And I'm looking like, okay, that's not okay. Like, and I was in shock, and I'm still in shock now, because I'm just like, so anyway, they would not consider it to the fact that I had experienced a traumatic event, and made me return back to work. And so I was off, y'all. I was completely like diminishing, deteriorating, and I could just feel like something was off, something was wrong, besides me being in pain. And so I was in one of the client play areas with another one of my clients, and a BCBA. And I was just kind of sitting there. I was zoned out. I was zoned out. I was spaced out. Like, it felt like I was leaving my body. And I was not well at all. This is kind of even hard for me to talk about. And so the director came in, and she was like, you can't just sit here like this. You need to engage with the clients. I understand you got hit and things like that, but you have a job to do. You got to get up. And she literally stood there until I got up, because I was sitting on the floor. And so I said, okay. And I did my best to try to engage. But the longer the time went by, the worse I was getting. Like, it just got real bad. And so I did my best to try to get through with that client. And I ended up completing drop off. His parents came to pick him up. And so when I was returning back to the back area, I was dizzy, I was lightheaded, I was faint, I was in pain, and I just ended up collapsing. I hit the floor, and I started seizing. And so it was determined that I had a stroke. I had a functional stroke, and functional dissociative seizures. I'm still in shock. I still can't believe what happened, and just, everything that has developed from that point until this point. Of course, there have been some legal developments that have came out of this, and it's just really unfortunate. I know that autism is a very sensitive conversation. It's something, another area of neurodivergence that awareness is needed for, but there's another conversation that needs to take place. Like, I understand autism and I understand behavior, But let's be truthful. Autism has to deal with their social development, their brain, the way they communicate, and things like this. A child, being so violent to the point that they are scarring, leaving permanent scars in people's arms, or knocking a 300-pound person out to the point that they didn't have a stroke. Is that really autism, or should we be having a conversation about parenting and the type of environments that are being cultivated? And I'm really passionate about this now because of what's happening, and this is not okay. I'm neurodivergent, so I understand, having autism, ADHD, and all these other type of things. But at some point, we need to insert truth into these conversations. All these behavior patterns, all of that's not autism. And I understand the sensitivity to the parents that may even hear or see this video, but your child going into a facility where they're there to receive therapy and care, and they are at random attacking people, it's not okay. This situation could have went a whole nother way. I am very fortunate to be alive today. But I wanted to this is just going to be a beginning of a series. Of course, I can't talk about all this at once, and so I'm breaking this up into little mini pieces, little mini series. But this is how I got here, y'all. But yeah, continue to stay connected to my journey. I just finished OT, and I'm about to have a PT session. But the staff has been incredible here at Johns Hopkins, by the way. They are amazing, much better than Wake Med. That's another story for another time. But I'll check in later.